Hey, Mr. Terrence. How's it, Mr. Terrence?
Yeah, I'm good and you.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for joining me early. Let's wait for the people to join.
Not a problem.
Um, do you know random.org?
Sorry, Tasha.
Do you know random.org?
Random.org.
Yeah,
No, I don't know it.
okay. Let me, I'll send you the link. And this is just in case something happens. What you call this? Let me actually send it in
Okay.
the DM here.
Okay.
Wait, so, you see the DM?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, what we need to do is, as the event will be happening, um,
Yes.
I'll prepare a list of names of people who are
Okay.
on the call, and then we want to do a raffle to give away
Oh.
some those jet plane licenses I was referring to yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's random. So what you do is you should get that list of names. You just paste it did you open that page?
Yeah, I'm opening it now.
Okay. But there's just a text box. So you just paste it in the text box and then you click randomize. So whichever name comes out on top, that's the that's the
It's
winner.
open.
It's open.
Tash.
Buddy, did you get that?
8. I think I have a problem with my sound.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, it's open, Tash.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is there's a text box there. So you would just paste the list of names in there, and
Yeah.
then when you hit the randomize button, so you present it, you need to present it so that everyone can see. And then they see all the list of names, and then when you click randomize, then whichever name comes up on top, that's the winner.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's
Not a
just for
problem.
in case something goes wrong on my side. You know, in these online events, you just need a
Oh,
backup. So,
or in case there's any difficulties.
sorry?
In case there's any technical difficulties per se.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
All right, cool, man. Let me set up some. So as the event will be going, please, I'm gonna take a list of names, then I'll send it to you maybe I don't know, maybe every 5 or 10 minutes, at least so that
Okay.
we have it. So don't worry about uh, keeping track of the people who are on. Yeah, unless you see that there's no list
I just
on
want
my
to.
side.
Okay. I just want to quickly confirm it's this one, right?
Yeah, so I need you to go to the list page. But
List.
I thought the link was going to take you directly to that list randomizer.
The first one.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
Yeah.
I just enter them here.
Yeah, just paste them here and then you say randomize. And then that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's noted.
Cool. Thanks, man. Our speaker here. Hi, Djoumé.
Hey, hi. How's it going?
Welcome. Good, good. Great. Um, Let me just check on our MCs. I'm not sure why they're late now.
Hello guys, am I clear? Am I clear? I need to switch off the light here. Let me see if this light.
Welcome, Mr. Data Center.
Thank you.
Is this a custom background that you added?
Hello Tash?
Is this a custom background that you added?
Yeah. You just get it through from your camera view there, from your camera option, and the drop down. Then it'll give you a few backgrounds.
It's one of their existing ones. Okay, okay. I thought it was
Yeah.
okay, I had not seen that one. I thought it was like one that you uploaded.
Okay.
Because I actually requested that feature
Yeah,
from
it
you.
looks like it not really offer us the flexibility. So I was with Fatal just a few minutes ago, but she will be joining us just now.
Okay, cool. And she's here. That's the whole.
Hello, everyone. Again,
Hi, Teho.
how are you?
Good on you.
I'm well, thanks. Exhausted, but all good. I guess we're just waiting for more people to join in before we start.
Mm, okay.
Welcome, Kosinati. Oh, can you not see? Welcome, Jamaica. Welcome, Katefo.
Thank you,
Good
Tash.
evening.
Hello. Hello, Djoumé. Hello, the Kolofo. Would you like I see you? Greetings. Hello, Katefo. Good evening, everyone.
Hi, Teho. Are you still here?
Yes, I'm still here. Still here. I guess we are about to start.
Awesome.
Or should we wait another 4 minutes to go? I don't know. We joining in? Please, people, invite more people so we can get this started.
Yeah, I think you can start. You can start.
Okay.
Go.
All right. Welcome, people, to the GDG community event where we will be learning to master software development. Um, Sorry, I'm still having technical difficulties. Just 2 minutes so I can show face. But thank you all for joining in. Tonight we have a very special guest all the way from Canada, Djoumé. He will be teaching us how to grow in the software development space, mastering everything. So this is gonna be very engaging. So now we are gonna go through our community guidelines. But firstly, I am not the only host or MC here. I am riding with Dukuloho Chabalala. So if you
Yeah.
could briefly introduce yourself, Dukuloho.
Okay. Evening, guys. Hope you're doing good. My name is Tokulo Chawalala. Uh, I'm a DevOps engineer by profession, co-organizer for GDG Pretoria. And in my profession, we work mostly in the cloud, CI/CD, Kubernetes, and I enjoy most about this community is how it connects people who love to learn, share, and collaborate. As GDG organizers, we are here to help you explore new technologies, uh, meet like-minded developers, and grow your skills. So thank you for being here. Let's learn, connect, and yeah, let's have fun. Thanks. Over to you, Cyril.
All right, thank you so much, Dukuloho. Just a brief introduction about myself. I am Tefo Fato, currently a final year student at We Think Code and a member of this beautiful community, the GDG community. So, without further ado, we are about to go through our community guidelines. So here at GDG, we promote respect. We we want a very much inclusive environment for everyone. So let's make this event very inclusive and professional and respectful as possible. So we do not tolerate any form of discrimination or harassment. So guys, please back away your mama jokes or dad jokes. We do not condone discrimination or making other people feel uncomfortable. So yes, let's respect each other and keep things professional.
Yeah.
Over to you, Tiffany.
Awesome. Awesome. Absolutely, too. So we ask that everyone actually refrains, from harassment remarks, especially in the chats, discrimination, or any behavior that makes others feel uncomfortable. Keep your questions and comments constructive and relevant to the topic. So yeah, I think for attendees or audience today, they should just make themselves aware and align themselves with the guidelines so that we can have a fruitful and progressive event this evening. And anything else, Tiho?
Yes, guys, just know that the Q&A session is open on the Zoom platform. So as our speaker goes through each talk, please post your questions over there. We will definitely get back to you. We'll answer as many questions as possible. Please, guys, engage. There's a lot to learn, and there are surprises later
Yippee.
on in the event. So let's participate, guys. I wish I could be part of the participation, but hey, I already have a job on the side. So yes, there will be a raffle, which I think Tash will tell us about.
Yeah, definitely. Uh, so now, guys, as you all aware, well, this is just a short reminder, basically, for the Dev Fest Pretoria 2025. So tonight's event is a part of our Road to Dev Fest series, building up to the amazing Dev Fest Pretoria 2025. I'm sure there's a few who have attended last year Dev Fest, but this year is gonna be amazing, better and bigger. DevFest is a global celebration of technology, innovation, and community. We are bringing it to you, Pretoria, with an incredible talks, workshops, networks. Look at the screens. There should be a QR code just either during or maybe after our presenter has blessed us with his delivery. Just make sure that you follow and understand all the instructions that will be given to you. So yeah, man, we're looking forward to also, engaging further uh, with regards to the road to DevFest, Pretoria 2025. Thank you. Back to you, Teo.
Yes, and guys, please keep your mics muted unless you have something to say, and um, make sure there's no background noise. And like I said, let's keep this professional and as respectful as possible and make this experience very fruitful for everyone who just joined. And if you have any concerns, please drop them on the chat, or if you may, message our organizers privately. So like I have said, we have a raffle later on. Stay tuned for that. It will be very exciting. And so now on, we're gonna move on to our speaker. But firstly, let's give a big shout out to our amazing sponsors, Fata, for making this event very much possible. So just a brief of Fata, our sponsor. It is a game-changing mobile app designed to help young Africans master software development through innovative learning techniques, and we are so grateful for their support. So, yes, like I've said, this will be very fruitful. And speaking of Fata, let me introduce our incredible speaker tonight, Mr. Djoumé Savatti. He is the creator of Fata Mobile and a former engineer director at Spotify. Now, Charmaine will dive into the science of effective learning, breaking down the 4 stages of competence and showcasing how Fata's features like micro learning, coding, exercise, and gamification can accelerate your journey in becoming an expert developer. So please welcome our speaker, Mr. Djoumé. Over to you, sir.
Okay, Jermaine,
Djoumé?
all yours.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yes, we can
excellent.
hear you.
thank you.
Very nice. Thank you for having me. Thank you for a very kind word and an introduction. And I'm excited to share some ideas with you today. Let me just share my screen. I just need to. All right, I should do it. All right, hopefully everyone can see my screen. So just a quick word about me. So I'm Djoumé Savatti. I'm a former professor of engineering at Polytech Sorbonne University in Paris. And then I moved to Canada to work first as a developer, then a manager, then a director of engineering in a number of companies. The last one being Shopify, a global leader in e-commerce. About 2 years ago, I co-founded the nonprofit Fata School and the social enterprise Fata Dev. Fata Dev his mission is to build great software to accelerate learning, and Fata School is specifically focused on accelerating the learning of digital skills or software development technique for African youth. All right, so my presentation today has 2 parts. First, I want to tell you about what the scientific community has discovered about how human learns. And then I will show you how the Fata mobile app makes it easy to put those scientific discovery into practice to learn software development techniques. So maybe you're familiar, or maybe not, with the 4 stage of learning. So the first stage is when we don't even know that we don't know. This is what we call the unconscious incompetence. This is actually a very pleasant stage because there is no stress. We don't even know that we don't know. As we say, ignorance is bliss. Then we move to the conscious incompetence. Is when we discover that there is something that we don't know. So now we know that we don't know. That's the difference between 1 and 2. So going from 1 to 2 may be because a friend mentioned something, you just you follow a tutorial, you read a blog post, and now you know there's this thing that exists and that you don't know well enough. And then what you do is you try to learn it, and you move to conscious competence. So now you can do the thing, but you have to like concentrate. You have to apply focused effort to it. So you can do it, but it's hard. And if you keep practicing, then you'll move to what's called unconscious competence, also known as mastery. So let me give you a concrete example. So maybe when you were a kid, you didn't even know that computer existed. That was, stage 1. And then the first time you learn that computer exists, but you didn't know how to use them. Let's keep it very simple. You didn't know how to like enter words into the keyboard. Then you started practicing on the keyboard, but it was very slow. Like you had to concentrate. You couldn't like look at the screen and type at the same time. You had to, if you wanted to type a word, you had to look at the keyboard, focus, find the letters, etc. Another time, with more and more practice, maybe you reach the stage of unconscious competence when it comes to typing on the keyboard, where you don't even think about it. You can just look at the screen and type at the same time. That's what we mean by unconscious competence. You don't have to think about it. You can do it automatically. So in the past 25 years, there have been a lot of studies about how the human brain works, how to optimize learning, and what it takes to reach mastery. Here are my 3 favorite books on the topic. I want to speak a little bit more about the book in the middle, Thinking Fast and Slow, from the Nobel Prize winner, Daniel Kahneman, which I found really insightful. So what Professor Kahneman shows in this book is that we all have our brain, the way our brain works. Basically, there's 2 modes of thinking. It's what he calls System 1 and System 2. The System 1 mode is a mode that is like automatic, unconscious, and it is super fast. And there's the other mode, which our brain uses, which is much, much slower. It requires effortful and conscious concentration. So going back to the 4 stages of learning, System 1 is how our brain operates when we are doing something that we have fully mastered. That is when we've reached the stage of unconscious competence. We can do the thing automatically, unconsciously, and really quickly. System 2, on the other hand, is the mode of thinking that our brain has to use when we are at the conscious competence stage. So when we can do it, but with effort and concentration. So you might know those 2 systems under a different name. System 1 is what we also call intuition. When we use intuition, there is no effort. The result shows up in our head immediately. And System 2 is what we call rational thinking. Is when we have to like follow a thinking process to get to a result that we want. So how does one go from stage 3 to stage 4? So for that, we need to look at more books. And there are those 2 books that I found really insightful. The first one is called Outlier. It's from Malcolm Gladwell. What Malcolm Gladwell did is that he looked at the best and brightest, the most successful across many, many disciplines, like music, science, business, like pilot, etc. And he looked for patterns to try to understand how they achieve their expertise. So how do the best of the world manage to become the best of the world in their field? And what he found is that there are some common factors that apply no matter the discipline or the domain. One of the key common factors he found is that it takes between 10,000 to 50,000 hours of practice to reach mastery in any field. That is No one reaches mastery with a few hours of practice, or even with a few hundred hours of practice. It takes at least 10,000 hours to reach mastery. Okay, that's the first key takeaway. The next one is a book called The Art of Learning by Josh Watkin. So Josh Watkin earned his first national chess championships when he was 9 years old. So he's totally the kind of people that Malcolm Gladwell was talking about in his book at Outliers. So Josh Watkin, after dominating the scholastic chess world for 10 years, he decided to learn something new. He decided to learn Tai Chi Chuan, a martial art. And eventually, he actually became world champion at Tai Chi Chuan. So not only is an outlier, but he's twice an outlier because he did it in two completely different disciplines. So how was he able to reach the pinnacle of two disciplines that are so different? And when asked, his answer is, I have come to realize that what I'm best at is not Tai Chi Chuan, it's not chess, it's what I'm best at is the art of learning, and that's why he wrote this book. And the key insight from his book is that the quality of practice is equally important than the quantity. You can spend 1,000,000 hours of bad practice, and that won't give you mastery. So you have to spend 10,000 hours of quality practice to reach mastery. So that's why we say practice makes perfect, right? With lots of quality practice, we can teach our brain to use system 1 to accomplish any task. Quality practice is what enables us to develop an intuition for something or to do things quickly and without effort. Think about driving a car. It's another example. When you first learn to drive a car, it's exhausting. You have to keep focus all the time. And after lots of hours of driving, you can drive a car while taking a phone call. You don't even feel tired after driving because your brain now is using system 1 to do it. So going deeper, we can see that system 1 and system 2, they map to the two kinds of memory that our brain uses. There is the long-term memory that is unconscious. Like when something is stored in long-term memory, we just know it without having to constantly think about it. And on the other hand, we have our working memory, which is just like system 2, it is slow and it requires active thinking. Our working memory is also very limited. It's much more limited than we realize. The current estimate is that we can store about 8 things simultaneously in working memory. Only 8 things. And when we are no longer actively thinking about those things, they disappear within about 20 seconds. So it's very limited. On the other hand, we have yet to discover a limitation of our long-term memory. At least it seems unlimited in its capacity. No one has discovered, oh, this is how much you can store in long-term memory. We haven't found the limit. So when we practice, we literally change how our brain is wired, like physically. We create new connection, we reinforce and weaken existing one between our neurons. And in the process, we create those long-term memory. The practice builds long-term memory. And learning, it's all about building that long-term memory. So if we break down the learning process further, we can identify kind of like 3 essential steps. The first is what we are going to call attention. The first thing we have to do to learn something is to direct our attention toward the image, sounds, or whatever other perception, things that we can perceive, so that we can load them up in our working memory. So right now, hopefully, you're listening to what I'm saying, you're looking at your screen, and as a result, what I'm saying and what is on the screen is in your working memory. But if we don't do anything, it's going to disappear within 20 seconds. So now to create this learning process, to keep going on this learning process, we have to do the next step, which is recall. Recall is a process of finding similar things that we've encountered before in our long-term memory and loading them up in working memory. So you probably have seen similar presentation. Maybe you've heard about how the brain works or how memory works. So now your brain has automatically recalled those things, and both of them are into your working memory. And the third step is what we call integration. And then, so we integrate, that is, we make connection between what we already knew and what we are seeing now, and we store them back into long-term memory. Those steps, those 3 steps, attention, recall, integration, are all essential for learning. Like if we skip any one of them, learning will not happen. And by practicing, what we do is that we repeat those steps over and over and over, and as a result, we strengthen and strengthen the long-term memory and our ability to recall it. Let me give you some concrete example of things that are poor ways to learn. And full disclosure, I was doing a lot of those things as I was learning until I learned better. So what are something that slows down learning? So the first one is probably obvious to everyone, not paying enough attention. Obviously, if you're not listening, you're not going to learn whatever the person is saying. So the next one is maybe less obvious. It's doing tutorial. Doing tutorial is not good for learning. Why is it not good? Well, let's go back to our diagram, the 1, 2, 3. Attention, recall, integration. So when we do tutorial, step 1 is accomplished. We pay attention to what's happening, I'm assuming. But recall is not happening because we just follow instruction. We don't have to problem solve. As a result, we don't have to search into our long-term memory for similar things that we've seen before. And as a result, learning that is slowed down. Okay. Similarly, when we reread or rewrite several times our notes, for instance, this is the thing that I used to do, learning is slow because we don't trigger step 2. We skip over the recall aspect because we're just rereading, we're just rewriting. We don't have to remember or recall what we used to know. Another thing that is not good is reviewing only the day before the exam. So if you do a key observation that scientists have done is that sleep is essential for the long-term memory formation. So in between those repetition of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, if you sleep, learning is going to be faster because while we are sleeping, our brain is going to reorganize itself to be able to strengthen some of our existing long-term memory and create space for more to be formed. So ideally, you want to sleep in between those review sessions. Another practice that is commonly used and that is not effective is to do long review session, like trying to review for several hours at once. But it's not effective because when we do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, we have to use our working memory. And using our working memory is effortful and tiring. And as a result, we can't do it for very long. And if you try to do it for very long, it's just not going to be effective. So this is what not to do. Now let's talk about what we should be doing to accelerate our learning. So the first thing is practicing with realistic exercise. Why does this work? And why is this important? It's important to practice with realistic exercise because that will facilitate to recall when we see something similar in the real job situation. Because our practice will be similar to the actual work, it will be easier and faster to recall. There is a saying in sport, hopefully I'm not going to mix it up. You practice like it's a game, so you will play like it's practice. So it's kind of the same idea. Another thing that accelerates learning is building your own project. This is important because first, building project forces a lot of recall, and as a result will help with integration. But also if it's your own project, that means you care about it. Therefore, you are going to have emotion associated with it. And emotion, what is going to facilitate the learning as well. We have evolved so that when we have strong emotion, we remember more. Reviewing several things at the same time is also good for learning, and that is maybe counterintuitive. So let's say you have to review history and math. It's better to do history, a little bit of history, a little bit of math, a little bit of history, a little bit of math, etc., than to do all of history and then all of math. The reason for that is when you interleave the different topic, you empty your working memory. So if you do history and then you move to math, by moving to math, you empty your working memory of the history stuff that you were reviewing. And when you go back to history, you will be forced to do recall to reload your working memory. And that will strengthen the learning process. Whereas if you do all of history at once, you won't be constantly doing recall. You will just be loading history once and then you will be doing 1, 3, 1, 3. You will skipping over 2. Other things that are good, reviewing over several days with short session. We just talk about why it's important. If you do it over several days, that means you are sleeping in between. And if you do short session, that means your working memory is effective because you're not too tired. And the last one, which is maybe less obvious, reviewing with friends is also more effective, as long as you stay focused, of course. Because when you review with friends, you've got positive emotion, and those positive emotions also help you learn faster and also keeps you going for longer, gives you more energy to learn. So how effective are those things when you put them in practice? So there has been a few studies on this, but one that I found really interesting is one from the University of Washington in the United States. What they did is that they did the same study across several domains like history, science, math, and so they did it also across several grades. And they took a student and they split them in group. For group A, what the teacher will do before the class, they will review, like they will show a few slides talking about what they did the day before. So they say, as a reminder, yesterday we talked about this and that and that. Okay. For group B, the only difference they did is that instead of the teacher saying, as a reminder, yesterday we did this and this and that, they show some question on the slide. And so that the student in group B, they will have to like think about the answer to those questions. That's it. That's the only difference. And with this difference, they got 1 grade difference in the end. So they move on average from B- to A-. So that's a huge difference. There are very few things you can do in learning that will make as much of a difference as that. So putting those things in practice actually matters and actually makes a big difference. So I really encourage you to do it. All right, now let's talk about engineering, software engineering. So in today's world, with tools like ChatGPT, it has never been easier to access any information. However, remembering and applying this information on the job is still difficult. How many times do we have to like Google or ask ChatGPT for the same thing? And today also we've got those AI coding assistant, and they make it much more easier to generate code, no question. Now, do they make us more productive? That's not as obvious because we can for sure write code much faster, but if we are not careful, we are going to vibe code our way into a wall of technical debt. In fact, properly guiding AI coding assistant requires now a broader area of expertise than before, because with tools like Cursor and Cloud Code, it's much more likely that we end up outside of our comfort zone. So I used to be a backend developer. Now I do a lot more front-end because of Cloud Code, because it's more accessible. But to be able to keep that technical debt low, I need to be able to detect when Cloud Code does something that is not good, even on the front end. So to stay relevant, all of the developer, we always need to quickly expand our skill set. But at the same time, we're all very short on time. Like, who has the time to take hours of training? So that's why we created the Fata mobile app, is to solve this problem. It's a mobile app that is specifically designed for developers to accelerate their learning of software development technique with only a few minutes of daily practice every day. Remember, it's much better to do a few minutes of practice every day than to do a big practice once a week. So you can download the Fata app by scanning this QR code or by visiting fata.dev. The app has been carefully designed to take advantage of the latest discovery in learning science with techniques like microlearning, spaced repetition, gamification, and social learning. It's available on Android and iOS, and it works without an internet connection. I want to dive a little bit deeper into the microlearning, spaced repetition, and gamification technique and how they manifest themselves in the app now. So going back to my earlier point, in today's work, being able to quickly review code has become an absolutely critical skill. The good news is, by using Fata every day, you will get to be really good at code review. That is because the typical exercise in the app will show you a piece of code that has a bug, and you will have to find the broken line and change it to make it work. In other words, you're going to need to do code review to solve the exercise. So by using fata, you're literally going to do dozens and dozens of mini code review every day. So this is a concrete example of an exercise about CSS, but we also have exercise about JavaScript, Python, Dart, there's SQL, etc. So the app show you two, in this case, because it's CSS, the app is going to show you two mini browser window. There's the goal window and the preview window. And as you can see, the layout of the preview window is broken. It doesn't match the content of the goal window. See the preview window, the title is not laid out properly. So just below those two windows, there is a code editor in the app. And to solve the exercise, all you need to do is to change one line so that the preview and window matches the goal. So you have to scan the code, identify which line needs to change, actually make the change, and the problem will be solved. So this approach of having to change a single line of code is not only mobile friendly, because on a mobile screen, obviously, we have very little real estate for the screen, and we don't have a physical keyboard. But if it's only a few characters we have to type, it's mobile friendly. But the other advantage of this approach is that it's much more realistic. Like professional developer, we rarely write a bunch of code from scratch. Most of the time, what we do is that we're either looking into an existing code base to navigate it, find the place that needs to change to implement the feature that we are trying to implement, or we are reviewing AI-generated code. So we spend a lot more time just reviewing code than actually writing code. And by mimicking real-world situation, fata makes it much easier to take what we are learning in the app and applying it on the job. This is not like ChatGPT where you just get the answer, apply it, and then you forget. This is you constantly have to solve problem. Therefore, you constantly have to pay attention, to recall, and as a result, you will integrate. And you will build that long-term memory. What's hard about being a software engineer is that there are just so many technology that we need to know and learn about. So, like I said, we can always ask ChatGPT or Google, but if we do this all the time, we're just so slow that we can't achieve anything. For us to be effective as a software developer, we need to be able to use System 1. We need to be able to do most of the work automatically. And for that, the solution is the spaced and interleave repetition that the app does. So spaced repetition it's a scientifically proven technique to accelerate memorization. What we do is we repeat the exercise or variation of the exercise, and we space them in time. So if on Monday you solve the CS exercise I just showed you, then this exercise is going to come back, or a variation, like a slightly different one, is going to come back on Tuesday. Then another, if you get it correctly, another variation is going to come back on Wednesday. If you get it correctly, another variation is going to come back on Sunday, etc. So we increase the time in between the repetition. This is to increase the amount of recall that we have to do, and therefore the amount of learning that is going to happen. And we interleave a different topic. If you are doing some CSS and some JavaScript and some Python, we are going to mix them all during your review session to make sure you learn as much as possible. And gamification and social learning is also integrated in the app, because learning is hard, it's effortful. It's a bit like physical exercise, like you have to do the hard repetition. If you lift some tiny weight, you're not going to get stronger. You have to actually apply effort. And it's the same is true for learning. In order to change your brain, you have to apply effort. And applying effort is hard. Building good habits is hard. And to help with that, we have implemented gamification and social learning. So in the app, you can earn badges, experience points. There are leaderboards where you can compete. You can challenge your friend, etc. That will help with the motivation, and that will help you keep going longer. All right, that was the end of my presentation. Now it's your turn to play. I put two QR codes in here. The first one at the top is to download the app. The one at the bottom is to join our WhatsApp community. We just created a WhatsApp group specifically for South Africa. Once you have joined the WhatsApp group and download the app, I really encourage you to enable, to log into the app and enable notification. What we've seen is that people who enable notification are 3 times more likely to keep progressing than people who don't. And then I encourage you to just complete one module. You will see it won't take long. It will just take a few minutes. so you get a feel for what it's like and the level of expertise required. And then adding a friend is another thing that has been proven to accelerate the learning. So I encourage you to do that in the app. You can go to your profile and look for folks you might know and add them there. So that's the end of my presentation. Now I look forward to hearing about any question you might have. And maybe I will check the chat.
All right, guys. Any questions? Please post them under our Q&A or on the chat. Feel free to ask Mr. Djoumé anything. Any questions, guys? Don't be shy.
Whilst we're waiting for the questions, if also there is anybody wants to maybe speak, maybe to ask a question in a voice point of view, you can just raise your hand, and we'll put you, and you can ask your question.
I see there is one question from Camille. Camille says, when is the next session? I believe that's a question for either organizers or Mr. Djoumé.
I think this is a question for you guys.
Yeah, definitely. Camille, just look forward or just follow us on LinkedIn. There will be more communications on LinkedIn, and you'll definitely know. Possibly also with joining the community groups. We share that information in the platform. You will definitely be updated. With that being said, thank you.
Oh, and Camille, please ensure that DDG can send you emails for every event they have. Enable that feature when applying to be part of the community. Just tick the box at the bottom so that DDG can send you any updates so that you don't miss out on any of our events. But since there's more questions. I think this is for you, Mr. Djoumé. This is from Koketo Chabalala. Koketo says, so the app helps you learn both front end and back end, or is it only front end?
It's both front end and back end. In the app, you will see that, for instance, there is a course on Python right now, which is the backend language. You can't use it on the front end. And coming up, there are courses also on Ruby, PHP, and SQL. Like our module are coming soon. I saw another question asking if it's will there be a web-based version of fata? Yes, it is planned. Actually, the app is built as a progressive web app. It's just embedded into like an Android and iOS shell for distribution. In the future, we will have a desktop version of the app. It is on the roadmap.
Okay, so I think on the Q&A, we've got, I think it's a question. Okay, it's very long. Let me just read through. I'd like to know how one can get to collaborate with the likes of you in respect to building something. I have a project that I have initiated and I want to collaborate in making this a success. Is a collaboration with fata something doable? Since I have joined the WhatsApp group, Mr. Djoumé can directly, okay, cool. I'm not sure. So I'm not sure whether you're getting the question, Djoumé. So they're asking if whether they can collaborate with you, but seems like Tuto has already joined the WhatsApp group. I'm sure they will deliberate more questions on the WhatsApp group.
Yeah, we can definitely talk on WhatsApp. So today, the app is not open for like code contribution from anyone. But what I'm hoping from the WhatsApp group is that this becomes a community of learner and people that are passionate about software development, and that that's what happens in other countries, and like we can help one another. If you have like a technical question like unrelated to fata, feel free to ask them on the WhatsApp group, and I will do my best to answer them.
Great stuff.
Alright.
Great stuff.
Thank you, Mr. Djoumé. I see more questions on the chat. Let me see. Katleho is okay. I think we answered that. If there'll be a web app for this. Somebody asked if there will be a recorded session for those that joined late. Yes, I believe there will be. And Percy is asking if we will be able to access. No. Somebody also asked if. Oh, it's Nelson. Nelson says, please iterate system 1 and 2 with cognitive. That's for you, Mr. Djoumé.
So I'm not sure I understand the question. Is it like integrate with like cognitive biases or cognitive function?
Percy,
Yeah, I don't think I understand the question.
Please be more specific, Percy, so we can answer your question. Oh, it's Nelson, sorry. Please be more specific, Nelson. And Karabo Kapola is asking, what tech stacks would you recommend for one to learn in order to make it in the world of software engineering?
Yeah, I can make some recommendation there. So it's very hard to predict the future. But one thing we can do relatively easily is to look at the past and look, what has been happening for 10 years is likely to continue longer than what has only been happening for a few years. So my advice for anyone who wants to learn software development and make something useful out of it, like build an app and make it into the world of software engineering, is to, if you don't know, you don't have a better idea, start by learning the web technologies, because the web technologies have been around for about 25 years. It's very likely that for the next 10 years, they are still going to be very present. So learning HTML, CSS, JavaScript, I think is essential for any developer, even if you end up being like a firmware engineer, someone who only build desktop application, or knowing web technology is a very good thing. So that's why in the app, like the first course that we recommend is an intro to web development, because those are fundamental technology that every developer needs to know. For instance, I would recommend to learn HTML, JavaScript, and CSS over learning something like Flutter and Dart, because Flutter and Dart is less applicable. It's only applied to I guess you can build anything with anything, but it's much more commonly used only to build Android application, and it hasn't been along for like 20 years. So I would recommend to start with web technologies. Yeah, I think I answered the question.
Awesome. I've got two in the Q&A, and one from Alan Ramushu. The question goes like, it looks like there is embedded UX, and how different is this app from Netlify?
Netlify?
Yeah, Netlify.
So what I know about Netlify has nothing to do with like what the app I'm doing. So I know Netlify, the platform. Maybe it's asking if we're using Netlify, the platform, or maybe there's an app called Netlify that I don't know.
Okay, Alan, can you kindly maybe rephrase your question? And we're going to jump off to Sage Erase. What were some of the main technical challenges you faced while developing Fata, and how did you overcome them?
That's a great question. So actually I have another talk that will go in much more detail about this. And so we are talking with CDG Pretoria to like schedule it later. But I was just going to give you some examples. So one challenge was it's a very small team, just me and another developer, and we need to build iOS, Android, and web. So that's a lot of surface area. Another challenge is we need to build an application that works offline. So that breaks a lot of existing patterns. And when the application works offline, it's not just offline. It's offline with social features. So it's like offline and online. So we need to be able to use the app offline for a while, then come back online, get some updated information, and then go back offline. So that was challenging to solve. Right now, most of the challenges are around the AI agent that we use to generate the content on the app. So we are building this AI agent. And so fairly new technology. There's a lot of challenge to keep the AI agent effective and get great quality out of it. So I go into how we solve some of those challenges into another talk, but the TLDR is we have to pick like the right set of technologies that will give us the highest leverage. So the app uses a framework called Capacitor.js. We use the Firebase platform and a library called RxDB to do the replication between the mobile client and the server. And we have applied also a number of like pattern and architecture specifically around the AI agent to make it much more reliable. That will the scope of which will be like outside of this conversation, but I encourage you to like, sign up for the future talk to get more detail into this.
Yeah. No, great one. I think Sage has got another follow-up question, possibly. It says, how did you decide on the tech stack for Fata mobile, and will you change anything about it now after going through the development process?
Yeah, so I making those technology choices is always a matter of trade-off. So you have to be clear on what is it that you're optimizing for. So in this case, I optimize for being able to deploy on many platforms, even though I'm just initially it was just me and it's only 2 developers. So for instance, I wanted to share as much code as possible across iOS, Android, backend, and web frontend. So for that, I pick a language called TypeScript that enable me to do that. I also wanted to like be able to leverage as much as possible like AI coding assistance. So another reason to pick TypeScript because you need a language that is like strongly typed and that is like kind of mainstream, meaning the AI model have been well trained on it, etc. So I don't want to go too far because this can take a long time, but I'm going to ask the other question. What would I change about it? So I've done a number of pivots. For instance, early on, I was using React Native, and I pivoted to use a capacitor because with React Native, I could not leverage as much of the open source community. Specifically, I wanted a good code editor, and I couldn't find a good one in React Native, but there is a number of web-based one, like specifically one it's called Monaco. It's used in VS Code, and another one is called CodeMirror. Another thing I changed is initially I was using Firestore directly, which is a database of Firebase, but the persistence, like the offline behavior, wasn't good enough, so I had to pivot and start using RxDB in between to make sure the offline work much more reliably. Yeah, I guess there are more, but I want to be mindful of our time as well. Feel free to ask more question in WhatsApp or to check out like some of the other technical talk.
Okay,
Awesome.
thank you,
Awesome.
Mr.
Awesome.
Djoumé.
Yeah,
I think
I guess
we'll only take questions until what, 7:30? Can I please confirm with everyone? 7:30, right, TK?
well, let's see the number of questions that we have.
There's
We've
a
got
good
2
I also have a
There's
couple
some
of
questions on
questions.
the chat. Okay.
Yeah, we've got 2 who wants to. I think maybe they want to share something on the panel. Let me just put it through.
I also have a couple of questions to ask if there's time as well.
Okay, cool. Let's
go ahead, Mr. Djoumé.
Okay, cool. Hi, Tuto. The floor is yours. Maybe not.
Okay, I think we can. Mr. Djoumé, did you say you have questions as well?
Yes, I have questions.
Okay.
Because this is not just I'm a former teacher, so it's not just you're gonna listen. Now we've got to do some exercise, right?
Awesome.
Right.
So let's build your memory. Okay. Now we've created some space in between my talk, and now some space in time. So hopefully we flush a bit of what's in your working memory, and we're going to practice the recall. So now I'm asking everyone to participate. Put in the chat if you can remember any of the answer to this question. Like, what are the 4 stages of learning? Can anyone remember that? If you do, write it down in the chat. What are the 2 kinds of memory? What are the 3 steps of a learning process? You know, there's 1, start with an A, 2, and 3. Working memory is one of them. That's true. Yes. What is the other one? Right. So Dino got 1 point for now, and he's leading the course. Long-term memory. Great. That's the other one. Unconscious incompetence. That's one of the steps. That's right. That's the last step, also known as mastery. What about some example of like bad practice and good practice? Maybe this is the most important things to take away from the talk. Some things that you can change about how you're learning. Yeah, tutorial, good or bad? Bad, indeed. Tutorial, I mean, they are good to go from like unconscious incompetence to conscious incompetence, so like to know that something exists, but that's not how you're gonna reach mastery. Not sleeping enough, that is true. That's very true. You know, there are even some studies where they take 2 groups. One group takes a nap while the other doesn't take a nap, and the group that takes a nap learns better than the one that doesn't take a nap. Let's see, 4 stages of learning. Excellent, Camille. 2 kinds of memory. Yes. 3 steps. Encoding. I didn't talk about encoding, but it's a true technical term. Storage and retrieval. So what I talked about was attention, recall, and integration. So retrieval or recall happens before the final storage. Bad practice, cramming, yes. Passive reading, totally. Space repetition, active recall until leaving. Something is telling me that Camille knows about this.
True.
Long session of learning, true. Sage, this is very good as well. System 1 is fast and conscious, automatic. System 1 is the best. I love using System 1. So pleasant. You know, when we get in the flow, this is when you are using a lot of System 1. Yeah, I hate System 2. Too much effort. All right, you guys are pretty good. So I think there was someone who couldn't unlock their mic at the beginning. Maybe you should give them the floor. Tuto?
Yeah, okay. Tuto, there you go. You can unmute now.
Maybe you have to unmute on your end too? I don't know.
No, she needs to unmute from her side.
We cannot hear you, Tuto.
Tuto,
You're still
you're
muted.
still not you're still muted. I'm not sure if you've pressed the unmute button, bottom left.
Okay, it seems Twitter is still connecting their external mic. Shall we answer? Okay. Let's just pause for a sake.
Okay.
Twitter, are you sure? Because we can take a couple of more questions on the chat, maybe 2 or 3, then hand it over to you. Okay. Okay. I saw a couple of questions earlier
Oh,
on.
can you hear me now?
Okay.
Hey,
Yes, sir.
Tito,
Hear you, Tito.
go
Okay.
ahead, man.
Hello,
Sure, we can hear you,
can
Tito.
you
Can
guys
go
hear
ahead.
me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on now. This is weird.
Teho, do we have any more questions in the Q&A? In the meantime.
Yes, we do. While we wait on Tito, we'll just go through 2 or 3 questions. Somebody asked if the app is available on Windows.
It's not available today on Windows. It will be when we have the web version. It's on the
All
roadmap.
right. Okay. And then Katleho Sangwane is asking, is it possible to be part of the team, even by volunteering, to learn more about the apps and production and what it takes to build such an app?
So today it's not possible to like volunteer as a developer, but you can volunteer as it's called a bug hunter or a tester. Actually, in the app, you can earn the bug hunter badge if you find a bug and report it. You can report it via WhatsApp. Another way to be part of a team is to become a fata ambassador. So we don't have any ambassador in South Africa today, but it's something we want to do in the future. Again, we'll be reaching out to folks. I'll be posting on WhatsApp once we are ready for application.
Awesome, awesome. Camille has a question. No, this is just a statement. Camille says, I'm going to an investor meeting tomorrow in Santon to build 18 AI apps in 18 verticals, and I'll also reach out to Fata to Fata and see if they are keen on partnerships. So I'm guessing this is also maybe a question. Are you keen on partnerships, Mr. Djoumé?
Yes, we're keen on partnership. One of the key aspects of our principle of FADA is that we don't want to duplicate what exists and works well. That's why we didn't do a boot camp, for instance, because there are lots of boot camp in Africa that are good and are working well. What we try to do is to complement, extend, accelerate what exists already. So that's why we built a mobile app, because there was not a solution for people who already know how to code to practice and get better and reach like world class level of competency. So we built this app. It's designed to be complementary to other learning that you're doing, maybe on Coursera or on YouTube or university, etc. Use the app in combination to other ways of learning. Highly recommend you do project, for instance, at the same time as you do the app, and the app will accelerate what you're doing. So we're always interested in like partnering with. That's why we are partnering with GDG Pretoria right now, because we think it's better to like accelerate, augment what exists versus trying to replicate it.
All right,
Awesome.
thank you. One more. I saw Nelson came back to us. Nelson is asking, please iterate system 1 and system 2 with cognitive from psychological perspective in terms of memory retention.
Okay, I can try to answer, but I'm not an expert. Like the book, like Thinking Fast and Slow, is really, it's a great read. I highly encourage you folks to do it. But what I understand from System 1 and System 2 is that they are literally like two different. It's almost if we had like two brain, like merged into one. When we use System 1, which is the intuition, the automatic system, we access the we have access to all of a long-term memory all at once. Like it's kind of like parallel processing, or like more like a GPU than a CPU, if you want a computer analogy. So that's why it's so fast, because we can do many like system one can do many things at once. Like right now, my system one is like monitoring my heart rate and my body temperature and a dozen other things all in parallel with no effort. Whereas system two, and like system one is like all animals have a system one, whereas system two is the conscious thinking. So it's likely that like other mammals have it, but like humans, that's one of our special abilities, is to be able to do rational thinking, and that requires a lot of energy, like attention, concentration from us. And it's a bit like the working memory is a bit like the RAM on a computer. Like if you turn it off, it's gone, or like and so we like I mentioned, like there's only a few seconds of retention when we are not consciously thinking about something. It disappears very quickly, and there is only a few things we can store at once. Like it's not like 50. It's like 5, 6, 7, 8. You know, the smartest people on earth, maybe they can do 9. That's it. So it's very, very limited. Yeah, it's just a quick question about them. Yes, the app is on the App Store, both the Play Store and the Apple App Store. You have to search for FATA, F-A-T-A. If you have trouble finding it, I recommend just going to fata.dev, and then you will have a link to the Play Store pages, the App Store pages.
Right.
And I
Thank you. Sorry.
I just saw another question: which database were you using at Spotify? So I wasn't working at Spotify. I was working at Shopify. It's a very common. Those two companies used a very similar name. Now Shopify is much bigger than Spotify, but so it's very common confusion. So at Shopify, we were using MySQL, but like a version of MySQL, like it's not like your normal MySQL because of the scale of Shopify. Like Shopify has maybe 10 million merchants on the platform and like hundreds of millions of buyers. So it's a global scalable platform where we like everything is like sharded. There's lots of like mini database that are created for all of us users, but it's based at its core on MySQL.
Awesome.
TK, are there any questions under Q&A?
No, I think I think we have had quite interesting deliveries from the attendees with regards to the questions that were asked, and answered by Djoumé. So I think for now we can just close the Q&A.
No. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope everyone's questions were thoroughly answered. Okay, I see there's another one on the chat. Romano says, beyond building custom automations, what is the core mission or big deal driving your company? What problem in the business world are you ultimately trying to solve?
Sure. So I guess if to put it very succinctly, we have about 500 million African that are under 18 today. And all of us folks needs to be trained and needs to be equipped with the tools to compete on the world stage. And today, like technology is sufficiently advanced that you don't need much capital, if at all. All you need is knowledge. Knowledge is power. And so we want to help this is the future. The future is in Africa. And so we want to help this young African to acquire the tools, the knowledge, so that they can compete on the world stage and make the global internet more diverse and more equitable, more creative, etc.
Thank you so much. I'm guessing that's the end of our Q&A session. So right now, firstly, thank you everyone for interacting with us, for engaging. Thank you so much for your questions. And please ensure that you also join the community. Also our WhatsApp group. I saw Mr. Tash dropped a couple of links on the chat. Be sure to click on those links and join the community. Thank you so much, Mr. Germain, for your time and for blessing us with such a fruitful session. So, like I've said, we have some fantastic prizes up for grabs. So now I am gonna hand it over to Tash, who will guide us through the raffle process. Mr. Tash, take it away.
Good evening, everyone. Excited to have been part of this session. It was really interesting listening to Djoumé speaking about learning and what the Fata app is doing. Djoumé, really appreciate your talk. With that said, it's time for the long-awaited raffle. And basically, what is up for grabs is it'll be a JetBrains license. JetBrains is the company that develops some of the IDEs that you all know and love, like IntelliJ IDEA and Android Studio, among others. If you use WebStorm, those are some of the IntelliJ or JetBrains IDEs. So you would be getting a professional license for that so that you can do the most in your coding game. So there'll be 2 winners for tonight. So the way it's going to work is that we are going to do a raffle based on the names. Let me just confirm that you can see my screen.
Yes, you can.
Yep.
Okay. So this is our sponsor, JetBrains, that will be sponsoring these licenses. And so how the raffle is going to work is that we've got a list, and I'm using random.org as the place where, okay, let me switch tabs. Here we go. Random.org is a website that deals with random stuff, randomizing stuff, let me put it like that. So they will, we will leave it to them to do the randomization. So if you win tonight, maybe you still have a chance to play the lotto as well. So here's the list of people that were on the call during the duration of the call. So the rules are, if you're not on the call, okay, let me start now. Basically, I'm gonna hit the randomize button, and whoever's name comes up on top wins 1 license. And if you're not on the call, unfortunately, we have to rerun the draw. And then we will do that twice for the 2 licenses that we're going to give away. I hope that's clear.
Yep, it is clear, Tash. It's crystal clear.
Mr. Tuto,
Okay.
please repeat.
Okay. So
how do we join?
So you joined by being on this call. Tuto, you can see here's your name. Just by being on this call, you already entered into the raffle, right? So what we're going to do is I'm going to hit this randomize button, and whoever's name comes up on top will be the winner. All right. But on condition that that person is still here, because some people were on and off, some people dropped off along the way. So I hope it's clear. So without further ado, I am going to run the randomize. I'm going to hit that randomize button. 3, 2, 1, randomize. Okay, Sage Aries, I'm going to ask Madimecha, my partner, my randomization partner, to confirm that Sage is still on the call.
Sage. Oh, Sage says, can I give it to someone else of my choosing?
Yes, you can. You can.
All right, Sage. Who do you choose?
Okay.
Madimeja is who Sage chooses.
Oh, Sage chooses Madimecha.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. That's interesting. To choose someone to choose my co-host, but okay. So we're gonna do the second run. So I'm just gonna hit this again button in 3, 2, 1. And winner is Precious Bora.
Precious, where are you? Precious, just drop an emoji or something on the chat.
Yeah, she is on the chats. I can
All
see
right,
her.
Precious.
Yeah, she's on the call.
Okay.
Well
Great.
done. Yes.
Great. Since both winners are on the call, we won't need to rerun it. Yeah, Wutu, you were really close. You came in a close second. Great stuff. There will be more prizes as we continue our Road to DevFest series. So look out for the next edition of Road to DevFest. We will communicate that in our newsletter. We will also communicate another contest, another exciting contest that is coming up with our friends at Fata. So with that said, back to you, MCs. Thank you.
Thank you, Taj. I see Precious is also feeling generous. She says, I'm here, thanks. Can you give $2? I think they wanted to get some. So, wow, I guess Christmas came early for some people today. Congrats to
Great.
our winners. Congratulations. And thank you so much for being part of the session.
Fantastic. I love the sense of community here. Thank you.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So, with that being said, I believe we have come to the end of our event. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. You can
Yes, it
talk.
was.
Okay.
Yes, it was a very great, interactive session with the delivery of Djoumé, from Fata. I think the app is very interesting. We should try to leverage the app as much as possible, possibly on our day-to-day. I think we learn so much with regard to the learning processes, and also with regards to the kinds of memory, the learning processes, what slowed down learning and so forth. But I think after all, we realize that everything else we can actually get within this app, right? We can see this app interacting with us. It can provide solutions for us. So yeah, I think Teho, that was a very interesting that we had.
Definitely. It was very fruitful, and I'll definitely be using Fata because I'm a student as well. And yeah, there's quite a bit that I did not know when it comes to my learning journey and will definitely be applying to it. I believe repetition is the key to mastery. So this app really does it does build a person's knowledge when it comes to software development from scratch. So it's very beginner friendly, I must say, from what I've seen. So yes, thank you very much for
Yeah.
blessing us with this beautiful creation of yours, Mr. Germain. And thank you so much to our sponsor, Fata, and our raffle sponsor, JetBrains. Also, guys, please do not forget to scan the DevFest QR code and
Yeah.
also RSVP for the DevFest Pretoria 2025, which will be happening next month. Please, guys, we'd love to see you there. Also, stay connected with us on our platforms. Um, whether it's LinkedIn, I believe we have pages on Twitter, Instagram. Please follow us.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much, everyone. Thank you for your participation. This was very engaging. Thank you to Mr. Tash, to you, Tukoloho. Thank you, Mr. Jaumain. This has been a wonderful session. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Awesome. So now we're gonna just leave it off to Mr. Terence Madimecha, who will just bless us and close for the session. Thank you very much.
I reverberate my special thanks from my colleagues at GDG, myself, and the people in attendance. We thank you, Mr. Jaume. Very insightful session. We learned a lot. I think most of us will be implementing what we learned from the session. And we hopefully will see you at the next event, GDG event.
Mr. Jaumain, any words? Jaumain? All right. Tash, any last words before we close off the event?
Sorry about that. Let me. I actually had forgotten one other important thing. I'm just gonna put it in the chat. I hope it's not gonna get cut off. Exciting news, especially for students. Google is giving away Gemini Pro for free for a year. And all you need to do is sign up at the link in the chat. I hope everyone can see it. It gives you the Gemini 2.5 Pro model, and it also comes with 2 terabytes of Google storage. So yeah, feel free to share the link with others, but don't forget to say where you heard it, first.
Definitely.
Thanks, everyone.
Sure. Cheers.
Thank
Enjoy
you, everyone.
evening, everyone. See you
Good
soon.
night.
Cheers.
Bye, people.
Bye, folks.
Thank you, Zuleika. Thank you so much.
Camille, it's the link is right at the bottom of that text that I chatted, that I put in the chat. Maybe let me just put the link on its own to make life easier.
Zuleika says, have they sent confirmations to people yet for the event next month in Pretoria?
Not yet. So you're referring to DevFest, right?
I'm assuming.
Let me let me do this. Let me bring Zuleika on. Anyone who still wants to chat can stay on. We can just bring everyone onto the stage, and then you can unmute yourself and say what you want to say. Otherwise, feel free to drop off if you wish to. Karabo, you can go ahead.
Hi. Yeah, I'm new to GDG, which is I'm excited to be here since they are talking my language. Yeah.
Fantastic.
So my question was so I am a student who is still making the way to yeah, making it the way to being a software engineer or a software developer. So, my question is in regards of AI, vibe coding, learning how to code. Yeah, so I would like you guys as experienced people to just give me a way so that because I feel like doing it the AI way, you're just living um you're just living out understanding what is programming other than you know how AI is, you know how we use AI. It's just taking the code and testing it and saying this thing is running. So what is the purpose of learning how to code? But in the sense of being a student, in the sense of having books, Python books, JavaScript books. So I feel like we're going we're doing it the wrong way, in a way, and I stand to be corrected. Yeah, so that's my question to you, sir, and all the people that are in the meeting. Thank you.
Okay, I want to give people anyone who wants to answer a chance before I volunteer someone.
Dominic, I'm also a student, very new to tech. So my approach has never been just copy and paste. Did it a couple of times, so that doesn't really help me when it comes to learning. I've learned to use AI as a mentor. Rather ask it step-by-step questions and tell it not to give you the actual code. Figure it out by yourself. Also, use platforms like your HackerRank, LeetCode. Um, I think also W3 schools. Just try to figure things out. Give yourself some exercises instead of just copying and pasting. Also, building small things. There's a book that I used when I first started building my small projects on Python. I think it's Small Book, Big Projects, or Small Book, or Big Book, Small Project, something like that. It's based on Python. It's a list of all the beginner-friendly programs you can build, like your Sudoku, Tower of Hanoi. It gets you used to applying the basic principles of coding, like your if statements, for loops, and all that. Just stay away from copying and pasting. It's really not conducive at all. That's my take on approaching the
Yeah.
learning.
Let me just add there. Also, there's just check on the chats there. There's something called. I'm sure Tash has completely forgotten about this. It's called W3 Schools. Tash, remember this, eh? Yeah, so check W3 schools. It takes you through code from a variable's point of view. What is a variable? How do you declare depending on the type of language technology that you want to use? There's a variety there. If you're interested in C Sharp, if you're interested in Java, PHP, so forth, and it's able to just take you through the steps from declaration, till you get to a point of using conditional statements. And yeah, man, just try that one out. I'm sure it'll help you a lot.
Yeah, and sorry, Free Code Camp. It's a good platform. So it's a tutorial that you can also code along to, and you also earn certificates at the end. It's very very good. I recommend that. Oh, Cash
Did, Sejo, you took the words right out of my mouth.
Oh,
And,
my apologies.
I literally, I literally copied free code camp, and then you said free code camp, so I just pasted it.
Well, thank you. I was actually going to type it out, so thanks.
Cool. So in addition to free code camp, now the thing about free code camp is that it gives you like lessons, and then it gives you but you have to look for the relevant course, right? Because there's lots of different courses. For example, if you're trying to learn Python, there's a lot of beginner Python courses on there, but the ones that you want are the ones that are going to give you some theoretical knowledge, and then they will also take you through building a project, right? Because that gives you that repetition that Djoumé was talking about, because you are coming from the aspect of hearing the theory and learning something, and then you're actually trying it and practicing it. So that's a really great resource to learn. I also wanted to say the problem of copy and paste is not a new problem. It's a problem that even some of us who've been in the industry for some time also experienced, because we had Stack Overflow. So Stack Overflow just give you answers, and you would just copy and paste and see if it works. And so a lot of people didn't apply themselves to understanding. So let's say it worked. Some people would just move on to the next thing, and they wouldn't internalize why did it work, right? So it's one thing for it to work, but it's more important to know why it worked. Tuto. Tuto, I can see you unmuted, but can't hear you.
Oh, am I okay now?
Yes.
Awesome. Yo, I've been trying to sort this out for a while. Okay.
By the way, guys, feel free to also. I also want to see you.
Okay. Not sure if that's gonna work, but all right. So, all right, there we go.
There we go.
Okay. Sorry about the light on top.
No worries.
Let's do this. Okay. I think it's a bit better now. So, what I wanted to find out, because I asked the question earlier on, and it's more about collaborations with Google, because in the last 12 months, right, it might not seem amazing to other people, but to me it is, because I went from earning 370 SRD grant to making about 4,000 to 5,000 a week just by using AI to create websites for most of my clients. And I was hoping to find out from you guys if there is a direct line, because I tried searching online. I even asked Gemini, because there are some features when it comes to Gemini, and some of them are just newly incorporated, that I like and I find interesting. However, the problem is, in the South African context, it doesn't work. Sometimes you're trying to pitch something to a client, and the voiceover or the text to speech, that the feature that they have, is so American, it can't even say certain words. And it's embarrassing when you listen to it and you want to share it to a client. And sometimes you can't even send it because you're like, nah, man, my client is strictly or deeply rural. yes, I know this kind of English, I know the twangs and all that, but I'm sending this to somebody who is, who knows basic English. So I wanted to collaborate with Google in that regard and find out, like, how is it that one can contact them and find out what it is that they require and if they're looking for something like that.
Okay, really great question. It's a question that I've also had myself, and I have spoken to the people at DeepMind about it, and they are definitely working on that, and they are interested in finding people to work with that. So what I would probably say is try and connect with DeepMind. I think it's deepmind.com or deepmind.google.com. That's where you can contribute in terms of basically, language nuances and stuff like that. Google has an AI lab in Ghana, Accra. So that's also look that up. You might find links to how you can get involved. Other than that, you can hit me up and we can chat and see who we can connect you with and stuff like that. Just to be clear, just to put it out there, I don't work for Google, but we are connected to Google from the perspective of the Google Developer Groups program. So there is some information that we do have access to. Yeah. Okay. LinkedIn is probably the easiest. Just if you just look me up by my name on LinkedIn, and then we can take it from there. Apart from that, if you're in the community WhatsApp group, that would be great. You can speak. It sounds like you're typing an answer.
Yeah, I
but
am
you are
typing. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize my mic was on. So if you
no,
can maybe share the community group link and maybe your LinkedIn link, or I'll just do a screen grab here and look for you on LinkedIn.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, the tabs are too many tabs open. But yeah, you can, if you just look for my name, I should be the only one with that name.
All right.
At least, yeah, I'm the only one I know of with that name on LinkedIn so far. Other than that, there's the group chat, the WhatsApp chat.
Awesome.
Link.
All right.
Right. With that said, is there anyone else before we?
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Hi.
Thanks,
It's
guys. I gotta
Kamal here.
go.
Yes, Kamal.
There was a chap chatting earlier on. I didn't quite get his face. He said that he was busy building AI websites. Look, my friend, I'm building an AI company, and hit me up on LinkedIn as well. Let's see if we can help you out there. I've got a lot of connections up in Zambia. I've got a lot of connections through South Africa. Family was exiled before, so long story short, a little bit of politician vibes going on my end. But having said that, I'm busy with the a brief for the Thabo Mbeki Legacy Foundation, and it's basically using NVIDIA CUDA and using real-time tools to actually replicate the voice. So by using an LLM, I know, yeah, exactly, using an LLM, and basically taking the voice of Thabo and basically reintegrating it into a LLM that can only sit in a certain amount of boundaries or a certain amount of years that he's going to give to the African Union or give to the museum or give to the library as to where he's going to be putting it in. So it can happen. Coming back to your guys' conversation, you can bring the rural voice into it. It's just that it's going to cost, and then on whose end are you going to deploy it? So the costing is not going to cost more than 100,000 rand. I'll tell you that upfront. But then to train the model to speak like a Basotho, or to train the person to speak like a Zulu, or to train the person to speak like a Xhosa, that now takes training, and that you got to build into the LLM, and then eventually it's going to steal somebody's voice, so it can't make up its own. It has to replicate somebody. But yeah, it is possible. Just to add some fuel to that fire.
Okay, cool. Tuto?
Question to Camille there. So, of course, the whole aim is for it to use somebody's voice, right? So my idea was getting a group of people or team that I can recruit with different accents, different tones that we can incorporate into this. I didn't know about the learning part and it costing money, but yeah, that sounds dope. I wouldn't mind
So
joining.
yeah, look, hit me up on LinkedIn also, or research NVIDIA. You know the NVIDIA graphic cards?
Yeah, the NVIDIA, or is it NVIDIA?
Yeah, NVIDIA or NVIDIA. Yeah,
Yeah.
NVIDIA or NVIDIA. Just Google NVIDIA, real
All right.
real people, and watch the
Okay.
video on NVIDIA real people. And then if you're keen, give me a DM on LinkedIn, and
Okay.
let's chat.
All right. I wish you guys could just drop your WhatsApp links, like haven't used LinkedIn in forever, but it's cool. I'll go there.
All right. Okay, cool. I'll just drop mine in the chat. All right, friends, thank you very much for your time
Hello.
this evening. Oh, we have someone else?
Am I audible, just to be sure?
You are, Zuleika.
Okay, no problem. I think I missed something. I think you were confirming in terms of the next event that will take place in Pretoria next month. What I wanted to find out was if they sent confirmations via email yet, because I did RSVP, but it seems that there's no form of like communication in terms of like how it's confirmed. I don't know if it's a waiting list and if there's a date to be expected in terms of confirmation. So I just wanted clarity on that, please.
When did you RSVP?
I don't know the exact date, but a few days ago, I think, or a week ago.
All right, no, that's fine. So there will be notifications that will be sent out. Firstly, there will be notifications. There'll be like the newsletter, which will go to everyone, but there'll be notifications that are specific to those people who have RSVP'd
Who have
for the
RSVP?
event. Yeah. So don't stress too much. As long as you RSVP'd, your space is there, and we will send out further communication.
Okay.
Yeah. We're still on the road to DevFest, so there's still going to be other confirmation emails that you're going to get, as well as the contests that are coming up as we continue the road to DevFest.
Okay, no problem. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Karabo.
Hi, say. I have a question. And the question, my question is, what does it take for a student to be part of the GDG community? And yeah, because I feel like in a way, we as students, per se, let me not say we, I as a student need kind of a mentor in this maneuvering of learning these technologies, learning this tech stack, because at some point you feel like you are outdated. Like people are learning Next.js, you are still learning React, you know? Yeah, so what does it take for someone to join the community? And yeah, as a student though, because you know Hore, the community has expect in software engineering that can guide us as students, saying, "Oh, Karaba, you don't have to um, uh, 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 have many things on your plate." Because in a way, I'm currently in a program called MLab. So in there, there's currently many things. There's currently many things. So I've been elected as the team lead. We're working as a group. So I've been elected as a team lead. So basically what we're doing a full stack, kind of a full stack course, which is that course is 9 months, it's a 9 months course. So as someone who is the team lead, and as someone who is willing to learn, I've been learning Figma, I've been learning developing, I've been learning development, I've been learning web development. Yeah. So in a way, I feel like that is devastating for me, you know. Having a program saying, "Ore, Karabo, we want the design. Karabo, we want the back end. Karabo, we want the front end." Yes. So yeah, that is my question, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, cool. Karabo, thanks for the question. Oh, I think Camille might have an answer for you. So
No. I got another question. Sorry.
okay, all right. So basically, Karabo, when it comes to software development, and by the way, we were just talking to MLab this afternoon about how we're gonna go about DevFest in terms of our partnership with them. They are a long-standing partner of ours. So yeah, it's just interesting that that we have someone from MLab here. But you know, when it comes to software development, for you to master it, you need to be deliberate about understanding the fundamentals, right? Sometimes it feels like it feels panicky. You feel panicked that you are being left behind, but you're not being left behind. If you are learning, as long as you're learning something, you're not being left behind. The time that you get left behind is when you're not learning, right? As long as you're learning, I'm going to repeat that. As long as you're learning something, you are not being left behind, because whatever you learn, those fundamentals, as long as you learn them and they stick forever, and you'll always use them, you know, time and again, as time goes on. So yeah, just I know I haven't given you a thorough answer to your question, but that's the one thing I want you to take away from, you know, based on your question.
And Tesh, just to add now, coming from a student's perspective, because I'm also a student, everything has a common ancestor, right? Especially in development. Don't worry about what's new. Fundamentals are the most important thing, because once you grasp fundamentals, you're fine. They'll take you through that journey, no matter what changes.
Great. 100% spoken with wisdom. Camille, I think yours will be the
Yeah.
last.
So look, no problem. Look, I'm not a student at any merit. I'm a businessman, and I've started to build tools. And I come from lots of different industries. I'm over 40 years old. And based on that, recently I started realizing that, even speaking to Wits University, that the lecturers needed a person to train the lecturers how to use AI, for example, how to build an LLM, how to build certain tools that can assist them within the educational sector. So my question is, I've built a whole lot of training manuals, get hold of, to maybe give my stuff through to. Maybe you guys can peruse through it, have a look through it, see if it's worth your while. I don't mind doing free seminars, courses, just to get out there. But yeah, if there's any way, or anybody who knows of anything I can get educational assistance from, or where I could plug in my courses, please, yeah, hit me up.
Cool. Camille, you can hit me up on LinkedIn and we can definitely explore what's possible.
Done, brother. I've been following you, but yeah,
Cool. Okay.
I've already been following you. It's weird. Yeah, cool, sweet.
Okay. Thank you everyone for once again for joining and for being patient and listening to all the questions. This is also another form of learning. When we have these conversations after the big call, we actually these are more intimate, as you can see, and you actually get your questions answered, and from there we forge new connections and we grow like that. So thank you so much, team, and look out for the next one in the road to DevFest. It's coming soon.